Man, Cris Paul has made it finally official. Went back. He done spun the block and made it back to his first love, the LA Clippers. The Lob City days are gone, C-Dub.
Yeah.
But this new iteration of the Clippers could make some noise in the Western Conference. We're going to talk about Cris Paul's decision to go back to the Clippers and more right after the intro.
Thank you for tuning in to the number one place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.
What's the word, NBA basketball fans? Welcome back to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything NBA related. It's your boy Big Kev in the building with my bro, fellow old head, C Dub. And listen, man, I know you got some thoughts about the Clippers and everything they've done in the offseason, but specifically today, Cris Paul deciding to go back to his old team where he had a nice heyday with the likes of DeAndre Jordan, Doc Rivers, Blake Griffin, Jamal Crawford. Those teams never really made it to pay dirt or to win an actual championship, but they were fun to watch in the mid 2000s, right? But now he's back going into his 22nd year, I believe.
21st.
His 21st season. It looked like he was going to go into the twilight, right off into the sunset, but he decided to run it back one last season. How are you feeling about Cris Paul's decision to go back to the Clippers?
Hey, man, shout out to Cris Paul, man. I just found out a great nugget from Cris Paul. He played all 82 games last season. At 39, turning 40 years old last season, which has got to be applauded for a guy like this, a future Hall of Famer. Second all time in assists. When you think about floor generalship, you got to think about Cris Paul, along with guys like Jason Kidd and Gary Payton. You got to put him in there. I think this is perfect. He said as much. He wanted to be close to his family, which is situated in that LA area. And he won twofold. He got to be around his family, playing with the LA Clippers, and they got a chance to compete in the West. It's gonna be tough, but I think it's a great swan song because he said it'd be his last season as an NBA player. So it's a great swan song to where I think he had the most success in the LA, Lob City, everybody that will never be forgotten in the lores of NBA history. Um, 5-time All-Star with the LA Clippers, 5-time All NBA. I think they got to a Western Conference Finals. If it wasn't for Golden State, maybe it's the LA Clippers beating the snot out of the Heat or something like that. Maybe we don't know. But otherwise, I think it's a great fucking story for Cris Paul, and it'll be a great ending to the story for Cris Paul, regardless if they win the championship or not.
Yeah, and let's be honest, like he's not the Cris Paul of old, but he's not too old to be effective. He did average 7.5 assists last season for San Antonio, played all 82 games, as you mentioned, averaged 8.8 points, but he did have moments where he showed that he could still put the ball in the basket. He just didn't have to, right? Their season was over once Wemby went down, and he didn't really have to go out there and do much. He was just the old guard, the coach on the court, as it were. So shout out to him for going back to them. Now, looking
But
at the situation, the coach has already said that they're expecting him to be a reserve guard. So this is still James Harden's team in regard to being the point guard, the starting point guard of this team. But can you imagine going from a guy that averaged 9 assists as a starter to a guy that's averaging 8 assists coming off the bench? There's going to be little to no drop off in terms of how their offense flows once James Harden comes off the bench and is inserted into the lineup.
yeah, and I wouldn't even say that Cris Paul will see more than like 15 to 20 minutes per game if he plays. He's just there, like they describe him as a reserve point guard, or in case of emergency, he will see spurts here and there. I think Tyrue put it like he's here in a reserve role, just like you just said. He's here in a reserve role. So what that says to me is don't expect to see a lot of Cris Paul unless it's needed to me. He's going into his 21st season. Of course, he could come in and help. He averaged 7 assists last season. You just said
Mm-hmm.
he's capable of doing it for a little bit, but I would not rely on a 41-year-old Cris Paul. He is not the anomaly. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that LeBron James is.
Right.
He's not LeBron James. So I'm sure he can help the LA Clippers, but this is nothing that's going to put them over the edge, I think. He's not going to put them over the top.
Well, I mean, but he can move the needle just a little bit.
I don't think so.
The Clippers, well, in regard to James Harden, because James Harden played 2,800 minutes last season, and frankly, they don't want to see a player that they just re-upped with, gave another contract extension to, go out there and get hurt because he's up in age too now at this point. So the Patty Mills and the Cris Pauls and the Bradley Bills, they're gonna have to step up at least enough to let James Harden not have to play as many minutes as he did last season. And frankly, I think this is a good move overall. On top of all the other moves that they made, C-Dub, they brought in Bradley Beal, who, when healthy, is one of the most prolific scorers in the league. There's no denying that. He just hasn't been healthy the last few seasons. John Collins is a sneaky good signing for them. Like that's an amazing pickup for them because he in Utah he was a 20.8 rebound type of dude. He can stretch the floor. Brook Lopez, he's up in age, long in the tooth as well, but he has a wealth of experience. He's a seasoned vet. So I'm excited to see what this new crop of role players. Now they did lose Norman Powell, who I like. I'm a big fan of Norman Powell, but I feel like the pieces that they brought in to replace him are going to be good enough. Now, listen, we're not saying that the Clippers are going to win the championship. At least I'm not saying that. But they won 50 games last season, Doug. And while they ended up being the 5th seed, I believe, it was really a three-way tie for third place. 3 teams won 50 games. I think Denver and the Lakers were the other two. And then they were 2 games behind Houston, who was in second place with 52 wins. So this team is still going to be in place to get in the West. You know how it is when it comes to the playoffs. They're going to be within striking distance of probably number 2 to number 7 in the Western Conference at the end of the season.
Yeah, when you just the outlook of this team, with the guys that's going to participate, the regular rotation, Harden, Beal, Paul, Leonard, Dunn, Bogey. I love Bogey. Batum, Collins, Zubac, Lopez. If they're going to win, those are the players that's going to get them there. And when I look at these players and the names that's on here, when you look at like a guy like Brook Lopez, you look at a guy like Bradley Beal, even a James Harden, even a Cris Paul. This year, I think they can be a competing team. If it was 2 years ago, they'll be one of the favorites, the front runners for the finals. I feel like it's a little bit late for this roster. You know, Brook Lopez, he's a little long in the tooth. Kawhi Leonard, he's just one dribble away from being out for the season. Yes, I said it.
I can't believe you just said
Bradley Beal's the same way as Kawhi Leonard. Harden has had hamstring problems for this century. Since the 2020s, he's been having hamstring problems. And Don, then when I look at the ball handlers, you really gonna rely on Paul, a 41-year-old guy? And the only other ball handler point guard is Chris Dunn.
No, you got Ben Simmons still too, though.
Oh, you do got big Ben Simmons. I forgot about him.
And he actually had a solid season last season. He played 50 games, averaged 5 points, 5 rebounds, and almost 6 assists. So they're going to be able to toss Ben Simmons out there and have him run the offense as well.
But it's still, when you throw that name out, it just adds to my take. They like 2 years back, 2 years behind, bro, with this roster. I think they could be competing. They can get to a Western Conference Finals. But to win a championship with this roster,
it's gonna be tough.
Unlikely. I ain't gonna say no. I won't say no, Kev. I'll just say unlikely.
Well, because it's gonna be difficult to develop chemistry when you have Mr. King of load management, Kawhi Leonard, who played 37 games last year. And it wasn't because
I did not give you a pass to just pick on my guy Kawhi.
No, what I'm saying is he's legitimately on this team for playoff purposes only. Like I've never really seen anything like this. You got a star player who plays maybe once or twice a week just to stay warm until the playoffs come.
Can I challenge you on that? How long you think this logic? How long you think the LA Clippers been practicing this logic?
Last year was the most egregious. The first
Okay,
couple
how
of
many
seasons,
years though? Let me answer my question before you get on it. How many years you think they practiced this logic?
the logic of completely load managing him.
Low managing it. You just said that they only have him to play in the playoffs with your take you just had.
Yeah, I think
How
last
many
season
years?
was the first season that they
Last year,
really fully bought into it.
2 games out of second.
Yeah,
Kev.
they were.
So
Just because
did it fail?
listen, Norman Powell had an incredible season though.
They
He had an
lost Norman
all-star
Powell.
type of
I'm mad
season.
about that.
And I think that played a bigger role than just coaching, because coaching is great. We know Ty Lue.
Yeah.
I think Lawrence Frank is out there as well. I think one of the Van Gundys is out there also.
Yeah.
So they have an incredible coaching staff, but we can't say it worked because they didn't, succeed in the playoffs.
How could it not work? You said he only wants to play in the playoffs. They got 50 wins, 2 games out of second place, correct? That's what you said.
Yeah.
How is that not a good season, a positive season?
I'm talking about the actual playoffs.
Well,
the actual playoffs. He didn't really play. He played 37 games, and what they preserved him for, they didn't succeed at.
Okay, you saying the end result, the end game, it didn't work in a vacuum. Okay, I get you, but the regular season,
the main
you ain't
point,
need him.
Right? But the main point that I'm trying to make is that chemistry is going to need to be there, because it's two different styles of play when you playing with Kawhi versus not playing without him. So by the end of the season, you got a whole team full of players that's used to playing with James Harden pretty much every night, and he's the go-to guy because he played 79 games last season. And then you have half the season where you got Kawhi Leonard coming in, and now he's the guy that's going to be the other guy. I don't know how that's going to work for the Clippers this season. If Kawhi could go out there and give us about the 60 game threshold, where he's actually out there getting into the flow of things with this squad, it could elevate them to be a true contender, as opposed to just, I'm out here once or twice a week. Because think about it, bro. Like, you're an NBA player, bro, and we can respect Kawhi Leonard and what he's done in his career. Defensive player of the year, championships, so on and so forth. But come on now. You got to be in that locker room looking like, man, why he don't got to practice? Why he don't got to play?
But what if he's injured? What if he's nursing an injury? What if that's the thing?
Yeah, I mean, like, you can say that. Like, he can say, I'm nursing an injury. But I frankly believe that it's to the point in Kawhi Leonard's career that he's doing what Joel Embiid said that he's going to do. No back-to-backs. He shouldn't have said that out loud because there was some backlash for that. But I think Kawhi Leonard's I fully believe that Kawhi Leonard is not hurt. He wasn't hurt last season. They were just keeping him warm enough to play at the end of the season because they didn't want to see him get hurt in the playoffs. That's just how I feel. They'll never say it. It'll never be said publicly, but it was clear as day.
I would like to say that I hear what you're saying, but I hear a lot of like comments and stuff like he's extremely hard worker.
Yeah.
He's the first in, last out type of guy. I hear that.
Yeah.
So that's completely opposed to what you try to do. I'm not going to let you pick on Kawhi Leonard, bro.
No, it's mental too, Dub. It's mental too now. Let's not act like just because you work out and you put in the effort to be strong, that mental thing of, man, I got hurt doing this. I got hurt doing that. I got hurt in this season. I got hurt in these playoffs. I just feel like Kawhi Leonard is just at the point now where mentally he feels as though if he plays a full load of games, he's not going to be able to sustain it in a deep playoff run. Like, I fully believe that.
Wow, I'm not sure about that.
He played 37 games last season.
I think if he's capable, some injuries you're not going to be able to, even when you're healed from it, you had your surgery and stuff, you're not going to be able to play the game of professional basketball in the NBA without a delicate workout plan to deal with that. And it might be different from the rest of the entire team. And I think the entire team will understand that if a guy like Kawhi Leonard, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, has to do other things to get ready to play in an NBA game besides doing what everybody else is doing. It doesn't matter. He's a veteran.
You got to do something. I don't want to see Kawhi Leonard play less than 40 games again, bro. Like
Did he play like 60 2 years ago?
I believe so.
63.
I believe so.
He's capable.
He should be, because the Clippers need him. It's the point. This isn't just for me to rag on him like, oh, Kawhi is weak. He ain't. No, like, give me more than 37 games, bro. Just like I feel about Joel Embiid. I know that there are different situations that cause players to not be able to play. But come on, we old heads, bro. We've seen people go out there with broken fingers, dislocated shoulders, and play all 82. We don't see that anymore. You might get one or two players in the NBA that plays an entire season. And it's to the point now for me that I feel as though it might be the money that's involved, right? Because these investments that they put in these players and giving them 200, 300, 400 M's, it'll cause teams to be way more cautious than in the past. But come on, bro. You're one of the stars in this league. Fans deserve to see you play. I hope that this season we can get back to the 60-plus games for Kawhi Leonard as opposed to the 37 we saw last season.
Yeah, that's well said. I would not shortchange the intellectual property that is Kawhi Leonard and what he's worth, and him making sure that he take care of his intellectual property, which is Kawhi Leonard, and not rushing out on the court and ruining future bags. So I know you said that the team is looking out for their investment. Kawhi is looking out for himself as well. He's worth hundreds of $1 million as well, dude.
Yep, he is. I don't know. It's just, we old heads, bro.
Yeah, right. You just want to see everybody out there. Everybody got it. I get a sprained ankle. I'll just tie my shoe up and go back out there.
Go play.
What's a sprain? What's a hamstring? What was that? A hamstring pull? I ain't never seen nobody get that while I was hooping. No, I ain't got that.
Well, and again, this is the modern NBA, so like they don't practice as much as old, and I think that plays a major role in these injuries as well, like the low top shoes, not practicing, not having a long training camp, not getting into shape the same way. Like they do their own things solo, but it's different when you running up and down between those lines, 90 feet up and down the court.
Think about those real hoopers that played in the NBA. I'm talking about like Jamal Crawford. Do you ever remember him getting an injury?
Not like
he
this.
Hooped all the time. I don't even remember him like a major injury.
I think he's still hooping right now.
He's still hooping.
He's probably dribbling while we record this video.
Bro.
on my mama, bro. Like it was just different. Iverson was 5'11", maybe. And that dude would go in amongst the trees, fall, dislocate this, chip that, and still go play basketball.
Yeah. The love of the sport.
Right. So I think the love of the sport is kind of getting the lines are blurred now because of the fact that the money is so much. Because now players are playing into their 40s and they're getting, $50 million contracts at 38, 39.
Here's the question for you though. Do you blame them?
No, I mean, I don't know, man. As an old head, I can say this. I don't blame them for chasing the money and protecting the money aspect of it, but I do blame them for shortchanging the fans.
That's
because
perfect.
The fans are the ones who are the reason why you're able to get this money.
But
that's why Kobe went out there and played every night. That's why Mike went out there and played every night. Even when Mike was on the Wizards, he still played all 82 with dislocated knees and all that.
So how do you fix that? I think it's unfixable because the money is just going to keep going up.
Yeah, for the star players, but it's fixable. That's why they got these tax aprons in there. It's fixable. It's players and players.
I know what you went for there. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think I think Steph Curry makes about $60-something million per year. We all know that is just going to keep going up.
Yeah, for the star players.
Yeah, right.
Stars. But when you're in, let's look at JJJ, for example. He had an opportunity to make a big bag, but he didn't make one of the all NBA teams. And he missed some games too. That kind of messed up his bag. And they also got that situation where you got to play 65 games to be eligible for certain things. Exactly. So that's where it's fixable at, where people are already losing money because of these things. So
Yep.
Is I'm not pocket watching none of these guys. I'm happy that they all
I'm
have
pocket watching.
multi-generational wealth for themselves and their
Already.
families in that regard. But as far as the game is concerned, it loses some of its luster because players are so focused on paper cuts. I know it's not that simple. I'm I'm belittling it a little bit, but you get what I'm saying though. We've seen
Yeah.
people come back from worse and play through worse,
Yeah. The man saying paper cuts. All in all, I say the LA Clippers, they'll be a tough team to play each and
Mm-hmm.
every night,
Mm-hmm.
depending who's on the floor, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I do expect Kawhi Leonard to miss maybe 20 games at the very least. He's going to miss at least 20 games. That'll put him at what, 62?
Mm-hmm.
62 games. I think they'll be right in the thick of it. I just don't think they have enough. And then eventually you're going to have to do something with this team because you can't keep hitting your head against the wall each and every year. You got
Yeah,
to
like
make a change.
they
And that
they're
starts
not
with Kawhi.
they're not better than I wouldn't say they're better than Minnesota, but they're right
Nope.
there.
They're right there.
I wouldn't say they're better than Denver, but they're right there. Obviously, they're not better than OKC or Houston, in my opinion.
San Antonio.
Memphis might be in that same category with the Clippers as well. So the Clippers are going to be kind of like Minnesota was last year, or Golden State even. Like those teams had to fight to try to not make it into the play-in. The Clippers were right there on the cusp of the play-in as well. We know how the West is. 1 through 8 was separated. 2 through 8 was separated by 4 games.
I'm going to give you my best case scenario. Kawhi Leonard plays 70 plus games.
Mm-hmm.
They win 55 games in the season.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden has another incredible year, all-star, for second team all NBA, something like that. Cris Paul does what he does, being a reserve, coming in and spelling James Harden. They don't have too many injuries. I still don't think they win no championship. Everything can go perfect, and I don't think they can win.
Yeah.
They're 2 years back.
Yeah, I mean, they would need help from the other teams in front of them to win a
That's what I'm
championship.
saying.
Like
Everything
somebody
can
had
go
to go
well.
down, and if they run into Oklahoma City, they're gonna get ran out the gym.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's gonna be rough. So, but all right, man, it's a good conversation. I know this is one of your other teams. The Clippers, besides the Bulls. But it's rough right now, bro. But I feel like that organization, they own to something. They just opened that new stadium last year.
Yeah.
They want to keep butts in the seats. They're trying to extricate themselves from the shadow of the LA Lakers. And this is a good chance for them to do it, man. Are they better than Dallas?
This year, yeah.
They're better than Dallas?
This year. Without Kyrie, yes.
Okay. All right, we'll see how it goes. All right, y'all already know what it is, man. It's Ole Headz, Big Kev, and C-Dub holding it down, man. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us over here on NBA Central and the rest of the Chi-Town Sports family. Just type in your favorite Chicago sports team, put the word Central behind it. You're going to find one of the gang. NFL Central as well. Training camps are starting, so check that out. We got NBA Central right here, and then we got the Fighting Illini Central as well.
Yep.
And in the Shy Bulls podcast with C-Dub and Bobby, man. We're doing it big over here. We appreciate all the love and support, man. We're going to holler at you guys next time. Peace.
This has been a presentation